Once again this week, the Young Guns are back. And this year's Denny's PBA season is heating up for the holidays, with the elder statesmen of the tour falling victim to names like Tony Rash, Wes Malott, and Tommy Jones. The balance of power is shifting. Momentum is sided with the Young Guns for now, but can it last? One thing we know, never count out the gritty determination of a seasoned veteran, and experience counts in this contest. Can the Young Guns continue their run, or will the veterans rain on their parade? The Beltway Classic next. From Country Club Lanes in Baltimore, ESPN brings you live coverage of the Denny's PBA Tour. It's the Beltway Classic. Today, four of the world's best bowlers battle for the top prize money and a one-season exemption. Now, all four are ready to roll.
He's a PBA Hall of Famer looking for his 31st career title. Today, he makes his third TV appearance of the season. From Jackson, New Jersey, Parker Bohn III.
Parker Bohn III has quietly turned in a fabulous season. This is already his third TV appearance, but the 30-time titleist hasn't won yet. Today, he hopes to make some noise and send the Young Guns packing.
This young gun is looking for his first career title. Today, he makes his second TV appearance of the season. From Avon, Ohio, Chris Loschetter.
This young gun makes his second show of the year. He said he put too much pressure on himself last time out to win. Now a more relaxed Chris Loschetter looks to hit the target. His first career title.
This 24-year-old is looking for his second career title after capturing his first title as a rookie last season. From Wichita, Kansas, Sean Rash.
Speaking of young guns, Sean Rash turned the bowling world on its ear last season with a dramatic win in West Virginia. This former Wichita State bowling star looks to shock the PBA again and capture title number 2 today.
This 11-time titleist is looking for his second title in his hometown. Today he makes his first TV appearance in nearly 2 years. From Baltimore, Danny Wiseman.
Dynamic Danny Wiseman is back. This hometown hero won his first career title in his native Baltimore 16 years ago. Recently, he's been through a myriad of injuries and bad breaks. Will his luck change today? His rooting section hopes so.
These are your finalists competing for the title in the 2006 Beltway Classic.
The Denny's PBA Tour returns to Baltimore for the first time in 10 years. That's when Hall of Famer Mike Galby won his 25th career title. Now this great bowling town hosts an event again with hometown favorite Danny Wiseman sure to have a big cheering section. Here are the brackets from the round of 8 on. Our 4 bowlers beat some big names to get this far, including our own Norm Duke falling to Danny Wiseman in a 7-game classic, the round of 8 on Friday night. Hello, bowling fans. Welcome to Baltimore. Glad you could join us today. Well, our Young Guns Against Legends theme just continues to grow, doesn't it? Last week in Cleveland, a couple young guns, Tommy Jones and Wes Malott, best friends and roommates, met for the championship. Jones won his 9th career title by a single pin. Our first match today has that very same theme. With more on that, let's go lane level to Randy Peterson and Norm Duke.
Thanks, Dave, and you're right. It still has that same flavor. And our opening match is Danny Wiseman, the hometown favorite here. In fact, Danny Wiseman won his very first career title in this very city of Baltimore back in 1990. But Norm, last season, anything but winning for Danny. Dismal, in fact, to the point where Danny contemplated retirement.
Well, Danny's been trying to pull himself out of a really bad run. All of this brought about by injuries. First, the big toe. Then the tendon in the right wrist. Next up, the injury to the neck with a car accident. And this has been a week of tests for Danny Wiseman. In the round of 16, he draws Chris Barnes, one of the toughest match game opponents in the world. Beats him, takes some confidence to the round of 8, where he and I square off. In the finale, Game 7. Danny Wiseman struck from the 4th frame on to qualify for this telecast, 270 to 258. He's hungry. He's got his hometown fans, and finally, Danny's bowling with confidence.
And he'll need that confidence as he takes on the young gun, Sean Rash. And last season, Sean did what no other player in the history of this tour has accomplished, and that's to go from the pre-tournament qualifying round and go on to win the title. Sean today proving that last year was no flash in the pan.
No, Sean's no flash in the pan. He has attributes, and his biggest is his strength. He throws one of the most powerful strike balls in the world of bowling. He's young, he's got great bowling instincts, and today he will be the next big test for Danny Wiseman.
Making 3 difficult splits to beat Mike Devaney and capture his first career title.
And gentlemen, in semifinal number 2, a young gun, Chris Loschetter, out of Florida State, will be on the lanes against the left-hander Parker Bohn III. Has won 30 titles. He is a Hall of Famer. Already, Loschetter has knocked off 2 lefties to get this far to the show. They'll all be bowling on the cheetah pattern. We're 35 feet. High scoring. That is the characteristic of the cheetah. 12 300 games thrown this week, including one by Sean Rash, who made the show and will compete in his first semifinal against Danny Wiseman. The flamboyant, the charismatic Danny Wiseman returns to television. It's been a long time since we've seen him. 29 events since his last TV show, the 05 Baby Ruth Real Deal Classic. He bowls in front of family and friends in his hometown. What a moment this must be for him. And he's in the pocket for a strike. A smile for Danny Wiseman for good reason.
Nice to see Danny back on television. I'll tell you what, one of the hardest things to go through as a professional athlete is having, great seasons, being at the top of your profession, and all of a sudden feel like you can't beat anybody.
Right, and after 2 years reserved from telecast, that first shot was a great opening for Danny.
Here is the definition of a young gun, guys. Sean Rash avoids a split. That's good news for Sean, the youngster from Wichita. Another Wichita State alum in their incredible program led by Gordon Vatican.
Sean doesn't leave anything in the bag. I'll tell you what, he gets a handful at the bottom of the swing, likes to throw it hard. And oddly enough, this is the first time he's ever cashed on this pattern.
Wow. A lot of steam behind that spare ball for Sean Rash, the second youngest bowler on tour, Norm, as we look at the Ace Hardware matchup against a veteran Wiseman with 11 titles, who someday could be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, 426 events to only 26 by Sean Rash. 41 telecasts for Wiseman, more than Rash has even bowled. Titles 11-1. Right now, Sean Rash is bowling better.
Sean Rash has got a lot more confidence, too. Remember, Danny's been riding the downslope for a while. Not this kid, except with back-to-back stone 9s to start. But Sean Rash is full of confidence, Dave.
Swagger.
Danny Wiseman has been going the other direction for a long time. Tough to turn it around in 1 week.
Patrick Girard from Quebec, Canada, is the youngest exempt bowler at 23. And Bill O'Neill, who won the Rookie of the Year just behind Sean, 25 years old. They're the young guns trying to take down legends like Norm Duke, Walter Ray Williams Jr., Parker Bohn III, Danny Wiseman, Doug Kent, and many others. They're trying to make sure the old guard hangs on here. These two should be very entertaining to watch, Norm. A lot of character on the lanes.
Oh, no doubt. No one has more character than Danny Wiseman. He's just a blast to watch. And then Sean with what you called the swagger. Boy, he leaves nothing in the bag when he bowls.
Good start. Danny Wiseman, who last won 2004 Masters. You see his road to TV over our Norm Duke. 7 games in a round of 8 Friday, Norm, as you were talking about before.
Boy, what a great
match started. It was a tremendous match for you.
Yeah, it really was. And, the fans got what they wanted. Danny Wiseman, they were just so loud for that guy. And when he doubled in the 10th to shut me out, you couldn't even hear yourself talk.
Had you down 3-1, and you came back and made a match of it, partner.
Oh, it was a match, trust me.
Danny's been sending videotapes to his coach, Bill Hall, all the way to Qatar,
Yeah, my
the Middle
coach.
East.
A turkey to start for Danny Wiseman. Perfect for him. He said the week really started with doing local radio interviews from here in Baltimore. Grew up 10 minutes away from this bowling center. And as a junior bowler, competed right here at the Country Club Lane Center many times.
Well, yeah, and he was on, the Hammer staff for a long time. Dennis Baldwin owned this bowling center, also owned Hammer, which was here in Baltimore. So, boy, does he have experience in this building.
Back to Sean Rash, the youngster. Now we saw he's from Wichita, Kansas. There's the 7-pin, but most of his formative years in Anchorage, Alaska, and that is where his mom has made the long trip from to watch him compete.
Right now, Sean, with all that power and all those revolutions, can't get a strike. 3 balls in the pocket, all 9 spares.
There's Diana, made the long trip from Alaska, guys. There's the 7-pin. She flew into Chicago the other night on a red-eye, had to spend about 5 hours at O'Hare Airport, then a flight to get here early yesterday evening, and she'll go all the way back to Alaska, the 4-hour time difference on Monday, as we see his road to TV, not as long as his mom's road to see him bowl in person. But last year, as we saw the video, his dad came from Anchorage. What an emotional moment that was. Father-son to see the first title in Parkersburg. That's a high shot, and lucky to get a 9-pin count.
Yeah, he's just looking for his first strike, although the first 3 shots were 3 of his best. None of them getting a strike. Looks like he might be squeezing it a little bit now, trying to make something happen, Randy.
Well, it looks like after he went solid 9, he amped it up a little bit, went light, and then that one certainly looked like he grabbed.
Just 23 years old at the time. Remember those incredible splits he had last year. He was able to convert the 2-4-10, the 1-2-4-6-10 washout, the 2-10 split as he got by Mike Devaney in the finals after beating Mike Scroggins in the semifinals. Parkersburg, West Virginia. And Sean told us yesterday he thought that might have been enough to get Rookie of the Year with his performances. Bill O'Neill won it. Boy, it's been a long, tough road for Wiseman.
I was just going to say that. 2 great minds thinking alike, Dave.
Isn't that great? Stays hot.
Keeps the pins down, less rev rate, Norm. How do you explain it?
Well, when you've got the cheetah pattern, which are dry boards to the right and a lot of oil in the middle, that bodes well for a Sean Rash. But Danny Wiseman is very savvy. And when you say keep those pins down, he's taking revolutions off this ball on purpose to do just that. He's looking for a higher carry percentage by keeping the pins touching other pins and not flying over the top of them.
This guy has been through the school of hard knocks. 4th weekend last year in Chicago, a traffic stop. Just sitting at a traffic light. Has another, and the front 5. He was rear-ended by someone in a pickup truck at 35 miles an hour, a severe neck injury. Hurt his balance, has really affected him a great deal. He's really physically just coming back from that.
Well, it takes a long time because as you bowl through these injuries, you inevitably adapt bad habits because you're favoring them.
Tendon injury you talked about, Norm. Also broke his non-bowling hand, and a long-standing foot injury, which he had repaired by surgery a couple years ago, has come back to bother him.
Yeah, that'll work there.
It's actually known as the Sergeant Hulk of Big Toe. So you know.
Physically, it's been a tough ride, certainly for Danny Wiseman. Sean Rash with a perfect strike there, his best shot of the day.
Sean's like, okay, finally.
Speaking of emotion, very difficult week for Sean Rash. Close friend of his, Josh Kubiak, with whom he bowled at Wichita State. Josh's mom was tragically killed in a car accident, Austin, Texas, on Monday. Her name was Lois. The funeral is today. Gets help on the 10. Maybe that's for Josh Kubiak and his family. Sean tells us he dedicates this tournament run and what he hopes is his 2nd career title to the Kubiak family in memory of Lois. 33-pin deficit, though, because Danny Wiseman has the front 5 on his hometown lanes. It's a great storyline. Conclusion of the semi comes your way next. The Beltway Beltway Classic is brought to you by Ace, the official hardware store of the PBA. Ace, the helpful place. By Denny's. Denny's always works. By Prescription Flomax. And by Motel 6, official lodging partner of the PBA. For the lowest price of any national chain, go to motel6.com. Danny Wiseman, the front five, a 33-pin lead on the young gun. Sean Rash, our first semifinal. Randy, let's check in with the Atomic Edge and Mr. Rash.
There's two things that Sean Rash creates in his approach. One is foot speed. Gets the ball into the swing early. That gets that big body to get moving. Second is power created right there. Look at that massive wrist cup. Look at the left arm pointing at the ground, shoulders wide open. Now watch this. Just unloads. Get you a handful, son.
The Atomic Edge with the youngster Sean Rash. There's a big watch party going on at Sean's house back in Wichita. At least 20 friends, coaches, Wichita State teammates are watching. Here's Danny Wiseman. Sixth frame. It's the Motel 6 sixth frame. He's thrown the front five with a strike in the sixth. Learned $600 from Motel 6. Official lodging partner of the PBA. Also eligible for a $6,000 bonus if he throws the front six more than any bowler on TV. Not quite $600 today, Mr. Wiseman.
Now, Norm, we talked about, his ball not revving up as hard as Sean Rash's, and that's one of the things that you run into is at week 10. You're not going to see Sean Rash leave week 10.
No, if he does, he's going to have that bird dog coming across that head pin. The thing is, though, Danny, out of commercial break, that wasn't that bad. I've seen much worse than a half 10. Now that was very bad. As a matter of fact, an 11-time Denny's Tour titleist seldom ever misses.
Should have put the tape in. Should have put the daggone tape in.
Oh boy. So adversity again here. Look at the lead shrink to 20 pins, and Rash works on a double in his seventh frame, as you can see in the scoreboard.
Yeah, of course, all the veterans.
Is open.
All the veterans are, really keen on bringing about the excuse to why you missed the 10-pin instead of just saying, I pulled it.
It's like a golfer tapping out a spike mark
Exactly.
when he lips out a 3-footer. But he follows it up with a beautiful shot.
Yeah, that was the quality delivery. He was looking far on that 5-bagger for that $600.
This is a bowler, guys, who last year wasn't sure if he could go on. Was contemplating retirement. And he said because of all the injuries, the adversity he's faced, he just doesn't want to start over again in terms of his game, what he's got to do. Physically, he's been bothered. Rash bothered on the release there. Let's do this again, shall we?
Right.
Boy, that could have gone through the ceiling.
Free drilling.
Looks pretty loose, guys.
Yeah, he's having some fun right after that 9 miss. A couple of strikes right here can pull him right in this match where he could have just been left behind.
Chance to pull within 10 pins.
But
the turkey.
I think he's in that I can't miss zone now. He's got to strike out to have any chance.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm still here. I can't hear you.
Well, that's because they're Danny Wiseman fans, Sean. This is Baltimore, Sean.
That swagger, guys, what we saw last year in Parkersburg, where he took over and won the house's heart with a tremendous appearance there.
Yeah, I'm still here. I can't hear you.
Yeah, he's talking to half of Danny's relatives when he's.
You got to love Sean Rash. What a fun kid. Fun guy.
Look at that. After the ball change for Rash in this match, things have changed dramatically. He can tie it. 4-bagger, 8th frame. Oh, yeah.
Baby, yeah.
Sean sent me a couple text messages last week, said, hey, Randy, I saw you on Classics, man. You used to throw it pretty good. I said, well,
Used to.
I said, Sean, good luck this week. He says, well, I'm going to have to strike a lot. I said, you will. Sure enough, show. It's like I'm clairvoyant or something, Dave. Or whatever it is you call me.
Guys, we got a great match here. Leaving. Wiseman gets help. Taps number 10.
A little love from his friends there.
Well, that's exactly what you get when you're bowling in front of your hometown crowd, because everyone in this building is wheeling pins over for you. In Dallas, I get the same benefit. We're in Baltimore. This is Danny Wiseman's house.
Is it ever? Told us yesterday, he bowled here several times as a junior. Practiced here quite often. He lives no more than 10 minutes from where we are here at the Beltway Classic in Baltimore. Almost had the 7-10.
And Sean Rash just got exactly what he was waiting for.
Yeah.
Almost pocket 7-10 here, Norm. He kicks the 10 out, but Mr. 7 still standing. And now Sean Rash, no matter what Danny Wiseman does, he can strike out and win this.
Well, Danny's got to pay attention on this spare because, you know, right after a single pin miss, you're thinking about it right here.
Oh, he takes the side of that 10 pin.
See what I mean?
Close. After
Danny,
missing one earlier on that 7 pin there and a 10 pin before it.
Danny, the best he can shoot is 246. Sean Rash can go strike 9th, strike 10th, strike an 11th, and be in the 250s.
This is not easy, though, bowling in your home house. Norm's talked about the advantages because you have the crowd. Sometimes the pressure can get to you, too, because there are expectations. Here's a swashbuckling Sean Rash with another strike.
Right now, Sean's got a look on his face like a lion that you just threw raw meat to. I mean, he looks like he's just going to take a bite right out of Danny, and he can do it right here in the 10th frame.
Yeah, and what I like is he didn't celebrate, you know, too much on the right lane, then go to the left lane and have to power down again.
Can't celebrate until after you win the tournament. You're not going to win it in this match, but you get one step closer.
Bingo!
Once again, you can see himself trying to calm his nerves.
6-bagger for the youngster.
Re-rack.
Notice he didn't even look at that rack. He's just needing time.
Time.
Inside, he's jumping like a frog on a freeway.
I think Diana might be, too, after that long trip from Alaska. She's got to be jet-lagged, but glad she's here to witness another potential win for her son.
Jumping like a frog on a freeway.
I'm from Texas. We get all of
That's
those.
East Texas for you, fellas. I like that.
Look at that pin position on that bowling ball. It's got it in the weak part. Big high rev player gets that pin to the right of that middle finger. Reduces flare. One more strike.
Oh, this is good.
There it is.
Who's your hometown fan now?
Oh, boy.
Oh, God, I wouldn't recommend that. Easy there, Trigger.
We know he's emotional. We know he plays to the crowd after last year. This young gun has knocked off a hometown.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah!
Good bowler.
We missed one spare all week. That was number 2. Yeah! What? That's for you, Josh, and you, Slaughter.
Who do you think the fans are going to root for in the title match?
I have no idea.
A shout out back home. We told you about Josh Kubiak. His mom in Texas tragically killed that car accident this week. Dedication to the Kubiak family.
Nice going.
One game away from winning again. And the incredibly difficult.
Hey, this is a good week for Danny. You know, you got to walk before you run.
His family is here. A tumultuous career for Danny Wiseman. Been so up and down.
Welcome back, Danny.
Mom Dorothy, stepfather Joe Potter here. And Danny finishes up a great week. It was emotional for him to be back on TV in his hometown. He knocked off our Norm Duke in a great round of 8 match on Friday.
Keep my house clean, Ryan. Keep it clean.
He's talking to his former Wichita State teammates back home because at his house there are about 20 people. including George Lambert IV, bowler we saw earlier this year at the Masters. They are watching him right now in wheat chalker territory. John Rash has done it again. Welcome to Bust Your Buddy. The idea, make a bad shot on purpose. Then you got to try to pick up the spare. And up the ante along the way. But do not strike, Jason Couch. And whatever you do, Chris Barnes, not in the gutter. It's Bust Your Buddy.
Each player starts with 150 points. 30-point ante on each shot to force the action. Norm, how about some strategy?
Well, the players may bid points based on the difficulty of the spare conversion, and they can raise the pot at any time. First to 300 points, bust their buddy.
So it's the student against the teacher here, Mike Machuga, facing one of his mentors and very close friends in Brian Voss. Now the purpose of this first shot, to leave a difficult spare, or a slimy leave, as BV says.
I'm throwing him
difficult
a
conversion for your opponent.
No. Yeah, he's going to take this light ball and try to leave a really funky spare.
Instead of yanks it, I would think you'd try to take it and throw it right down the middle and hit the head pin. Leave a big split, Norm.
Right down the head pin, exactly. Like you said, maybe just pulled it.
Did he throw any strike balls?
Now each player has a 30-point ante and a 60-point pot here. Machuga's raised 30.
Yeah, he's got to fold this. Brian's not going to call that bad.
No, it's too easy. It's too easy.
Yeah, strike ball covers it.
So Voss folds. Now the scores, you move ahead. Voss 150, Machuga 90.
Tell me what you're doing.
The pot is at 60 as Machuga tries the slow spinner.
You don't want to throw a strike and you don't want to throw it in the gutter. That's automatic losers.
Oh, stay on the lane.
He better have some right drift in this ball or it's a gutter.
Oh, there it goes.
Foolish.
That's 50 penalty points plus the pot.
That was a very foolish thing to do.
So Voss a commanding lead, 260 down to 40.
It's totally high risk. All right, I got to leave it weird.
Why don't they just move in and throw a big hook and try to leave washouts and 2-8-10s and stuff, Norm?
Just sail the head pin to the right with a little hook on it. I agree.
So back to BV.
I like this one. Well, he's not going to miss the head pin.
No strikes.
Stop! Hit it harder.
Don't throw it in the gutter and no strikes.
That was foolish.
Mike says, yeah, that's foolish.
That was foolish.
Oh, do as I say, not as I do. I'm all in.
So Machuga's all in. And why not? With a single pin conversion, you may as well here, guys, right?
He's gagged it up.
Exactly.
You do know that I missed 8 of these things.
This is it. You know that. You can't miss it or it's over.
I can't believe Brian's calling this.
Brian cheering him on.
Should be easy for him.
I'm gonna miss that.
Oh, yeah. 80-point pot goes to Mike Machuga. He's still alive in the match, guys.
You taught me how to do it.
Man, I'm just wondering what's going on.
Take the big wheel out,
Sorry,
throw
you
it
can
to the
leave that
right,
8 pin
and
back
have
there
it
with the head.
Strike.
hit that 3-pin
Throw a
right in the
strike.
face.
Brooklyn.
So the
Skinny
match
Brooklyn.
is a little tighter now. The
One
pot
now,
at
Reese.
60.
Oh!
And
Not
Machuga
bad.
trying to leave a
Want the
difficult
8 pin
spare
there.
for Voss, the 1-3-6-10.
Not a very difficult spare here.
I'll raise you. How many do you got left?
Well, it's not the easiest spare,
50.
but I think Brian can
I'll
pretty
raise
much
him
handle this one.
30.
Voss
take
has
that bet.
raised
He's
30.
taking it.
I'll take
Taking
that
it.
bet.
And
Snap it
Machuga
in
calls
there.
for a pot of 120. This is for the pot, which he
That was
converts.
close
Nicely
to a
done.
snap.
All right.
The match
let's
went
just play a
back and
little game
forth.
of
They
low
decided
ball.
to end this
in.
with a game of
Low
all-in
ball.
low ball.
Low ball. Okay, what do we do?
Full rack.
Machuga trying
Low
to
pins.
pick off the
Low
10
pins,
pin.
One shot.
Yeah,
One shot.
at this
Okay.
point, I think they're just calling their own shot. One
guess
shot,
he's
all
gonna
in,
get 6.
low ball. Lowest point wins without throwing a gutter.
Oh, go in the gutter.
my God.
It went in
That's
the
a loser.
gutter.
He has nothing left.
Can you believe it?
I thought, I know both of these guys. I can't believe it, really.
You still got to knock it down there without
So
throwing the
because
gutter or
Machuga
striking.
is all in,
I
he's
just gotta
just
keep
got
it
to
on
keep
lane.
it on the
If I
lane,
strike,
does
do I
BV,
lose?
and he will advance.
Good God.
Don't strike.
I ain't striking. Don't worry about it.
I heard you, Randy. Oh, Machuga
might.
helps
He's
out.
going to help. And he's
Easy.
disqualified, that cheater.
A lot of debris down there.
Brian Voss advances and Bust Your Buddy against his very good friend, Mike Machuga.
I'm having a good day.
All right, that was fun to watch. Denny's, the PBA, and the USBC have joined forces to create the inaugural Denny's All-American High School Championships. This event will be held in conjunction with the Denny's World Championship in Grand Rapids, Michigan, March 24th and 25th, and will crown the nation's top male and female high school bowlers. $10,000 in scholarship money on the line. The finals of the event will be aired on ESPN April 22nd. Nomination forms for participants are available at PBA.com and are due by January 15th, so log on today. Parker Bohn III has some fans here in Baltimore. He's got to get by this young gun, though. Chris Loschetter, who's gunning for his first career Denny's PBA Tour against the legend, Parker Bohn III, next. For the second time in 3 seasons, the Denny's PBA Tour returns to AMF Babylon Lanes, Long Island, New York. The last time the tour was there in February of 05. Tommy Jones averaged .262 for his 2 games on TV, took home his 3rd title. He's got 9 now. The event will be the last before the tour takes the holiday season break. We'll resume on the backside of the holiday season, the New Year 2007 in Reno, Nevada. That's coming your way. So what's happened here so far? Sean Rash, a 20-pin victory over Danny Wiseman, first semifinal. The young gun took care of the legend. Same matchup, second semifinal, Parker Bohn III, Chris Loschetter.
When you're looking at one of the true role models in our sport, Parker
I don't
Bohn
watch a
III,
whole lot of practice, but I watch somebody 2 times, 4 times.
30 titles, 2 Player of the Year honors, 4 Steve Nagy Sportsmanship Award wins, and a beautiful strike to start. Parker Bohn, no tobacco, no alcohol, but I gotta be honest with you. I bowled on tour for 25 years, and not having a brewski after an 04 shellacking, kind of hard to do.
Yeah, that's very hard to do. That's not for me.
Erin Loschetter, bowler herself, and that's a big theme of Chris's appearance this week. Has made the trip from suburban Cleveland to here in Baltimore. Here's the Ace Hardware matchup. Legend, young gun. Can the young gun win again, Norm Duke, like we saw in our last semifinal?
Well, he can, and you know he's gaining experience. Problem, Parker Bohn has plenty of it. 30 PBA titles, Denny's PBA Tour titles, 30 of them.
And he told us last night his ball reaction is starting to look more and more like it did back in 99, 2000 when he was Player of the Year. He's feeling it.
Guys saw Aaron there a moment ago, Buckeye Lanes in Cleveland this past week. Aaron was bowling league. 10-pin for Chris. Chris was practicing on a nearby lane. And Aaron said, as she watched him, Chris, you're rushing to the foul line. You have to slow your tempo down. And Randy, that turned out to be a big key for Chris this week to change his delivery and the tempo to the foul line.
Yeah, it really did, because his key is to try to get softer and slower, and he does that with tempo. Now, Norm, you may not agree with it, but it works for Chris Loschetter.
Well, there's no doubt about it. As small as I am, I need the foot speed. So the last thing I tell myself is, Norm, slow down. I would be exactly the opposite. But these guys are big and strong, and their biggest problem is overthrowing the hook. So they constantly battle keeping their tempo slow, giving the ball time to roll up.
Look how far back on the approach Parker's starting. And I want you to watch his laydown area. He's actually sliding 2 feet behind the foul line. And Norm, Dave, the reason why is because all of the players that we spoke to this week had a problem with their bowling balls bouncing in the front part of the lane. You watch Loschetter, he sets the ball down really, really early. You can't even hear his ball hit the lane. Same with Sean Rash. Danny Wiseman's pretty close to that as well. Parker had trouble with his ball bouncing. He moved back on the approach, and all of a sudden the bounce went away. His ball reaction came to him. Look what he did when he got to match play.
Yeah, his laydown area is actually behind the foul line right now, so it doesn't double dribble.
Leslie is here. Again, to support her husband. Almost has to endure a 7-10, just a 7-pin. Now Leslie and the kids, 3 young kids the two have together, travel back home to Jackson, New Jersey, in Central Jersey this week, because they figured we haven't been home in 6 weeks. They travel together in the motorhome during the PBA Tour season. Be great to be in our own beds for a while, Parker, so he drove them back up there, then came back himself just in time to compete in the 2 qualifying blocks to try to get to the round of 32. So it's been an exhausting week for Parker.
Yeah, but he said it was the most quiet he's had in about 6 or 7 weeks.
Yes, good thing he made 2 shows prior, otherwise you'd think it's her fault.
That's right. Well, Leslie's always by Parker's side.
Those kids are getting cuter by the day, too.
Isn't that something? Justin, Brandon, and Sydney.
No bounce in that shot, Dave.
Yeah, that was beautiful. The shot in the second frame rolled out just as it hit the pins, deflected, left that ring in 10. Looks like he's made a little more of adjustment, moving his feet to the inside. It's rolling up for him.
Road to TV there, Normie. See two lefties in Mike Scroggins and Riga Kalfas. That was a 7-gamer. So we talked to Chris yesterday about facing another lefty in Parker Bohn III. And he said, well, I've KO'd 2 already.
Yeah, but that's Parker Bohn III. 30 titles. No disrespect to the other 2 lefties.
The young gun looks for a double fourth frame. That's going high, crossing over. And a baby split here.
Yeah, this was bad from the word go. You can see the balance of the line or lack of it. This ball was left all the way, and he was just praying that he could leave 2 pins in a cluster.
All created by his start. Getting too fast at the start, gets his swing steep, he comes down quick, he grabs it, pulls him off balance.
Split numbers for Chris Loschetter, who barely made the round of 32. Yes, takes care of it nicely. Well done to avoid an open frame. 32nd and final qualifier for the 2 7-game blocks of qualifying in the round of 64. He tries to become the first ever bowler to be 32nd in this new format and go all the way to a title. Won't be easy.
No, it's not, because the first match you got to bowl the qualifying leader.
Back to the legend. Shrapnel everywhere in the 7 stands. Parker told us yesterday, guys, he's tired of this runner-up stuff and facing such good bowling on TV. Tony Reyes, 300-game Adam early in the year on the way to Tony's first title. See the single pin numbers. He's faced so far in his 2 appearances some pretty good numbers.
Now we're talking about laydown points. The shot on your right is from, the shot on your left is from Chicago. Shot on your right is what he's doing today. Look how much further back he is. And let me tell you how difficult that is to do. The further back on the approach you move, instinctively the length of your steps increase to get back to the foul line. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of talent.
7-10, guys.
Just the worst break-in bowling, in my opinion, because you don't get out of it even with a spare in most cases, unless you're John Mazza or maybe just Stayrook, Mark Roth, but you're out of here as soon as you 7-10.
Hey, the last couple guys to make it on TV, Dave, all
left-hander.
There you go.
Well, you got to hit one.
There's a field goal, guys, unfortunately, yeah. So leaves 2 pins there. Roth, Mazza, and Stayrook. Norm alluding to the last 3 on TV, the only 3 to have a 7-10 conversion. Jeff Stayrook, 1991, Tucson, Arizona, last time it's happened.
We're leaving a lot of them these days, and you'd think we'd seen 1 or 2 since then, but not to be.
Look at last week's finish by all of these 4.
Nice look from our crew. Approach for Loschetter, who's got a big break. Look at that. Takes advantage. That's what you do to try to put down a legend.
We got Danny Wiseman last week, 29. We got John Rash, 36. Loschetter, 54th. Parker Bohn, 61st. There's only 64 people in the field, Randy.
And look what they averaged
and
this week.
All of them get to TV this week.
Part of our Flow Match weekly update. Huge turnaround for those 4. Well, it used to be the big Finn, Mika Koivu-Niemi, who was the lefty's worst nightmare.
I'm lefty worst nightmare.
Get there. Oh, that's high. Yikes. Another split. This is a 4-10.
And one of the things that the players didn't struggle with this week was getting to the pocket, but Chris Loschetter right now is. Parker has not missed the pocket. Chris Loschetter has been high the last 2 shots on this left lane. What's going on, Norm?
Well, it's bad shots because there's no other right-hander on the floor with him, so the lanes are changing about half as much as they normally do. I would have anticipated better shots by Chris Loschetter after experiencing some television exposure in the last month.
Well, open frames, guys, for each bowler here make the finish of this semifinal to see who takes on the young gun Sean Rash. Very interesting. It's a 6-pin spread. Who takes it? The legend Parker Bohn III of the Hall of Fame with 30 titles? Or maybe it's Chris Loschetter looking for his first ever Denny's PBA title. The Beltway Classic is brought to you by Bear. The more you know, the more you trust Bear. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit geico.com. And by Columbia 300, the official PBA supplier of high-performance bowling balls. Columbia bowls the world over. This is the 21st time the PBA Tour has come to the Baltimore area. Third here at Country Club Lanes in Baltimore. Pete Weber, Walter Williams Jr. have won titles here back in '86 and 1991, respectively. How about the money leaders? Speaking of some big bucks, this year Doug Kent, who won the Masters and that big $100,000 two-season exemption prize in Milwaukee to start our season on the U.S. side. Walter Williams Jr. won in Japan. That's why he's so high up. And our Norm Duke having a great season. One title, 8th on the money list currently.
Where hasn't Walter A won?
He's covered just about every place, right?
Yeah.
All right, back to Parker, guys. Close match. Takes advantage of the open by Loschetter with a big strike.
Talk about fortune. And let me tell you how hard it is to go Brooklyn on this pattern. Would you agree, Norm?
Oh, it's very hard. As a matter of fact, I'm watching Parker thinking, I don't know what he did.
Looked pretty slow.
Well, Parker told us yesterday, guys, how tough it's been for him. We told you about the 300 game he faced at the Motor City Classic. Tony Reyes and Taylor, Michigan, en route to Tony's title. Lost in Chicago a couple weeks back to the eventual champ, Wes Malott, 268-246. So, great game, fold at him. Now, as he told us, it's time to take advantage of good bowling of his own here as we see other finishers, including our Norm Duke, just out of the show after that great match with Wiseman on Friday.
The Brooklyn was a ball change. He went back to the ball he was using and went flush.
Ah, that explains it.
Just follow along with me, pal.
And just like most of the veterans, once they get that Brooklyn, they always pack the second one for the double.
You're seeing the match play average and match play record, bottom of your screen for the other finishers this week. Yes! Come on! Chris Loschetter trying to get pumped up himself. He told us in his last TV appearance in Buffalo, and he faced Pete Weber, another legend he's been up against. You lost to you as well last year, Normie, in a title match in Taylor. He put too much pressure on himself, and Aaron has told him he's got to relax. In addition to the flaws she viewed this week in practice in suburban Cleveland on his rushed approach. So Chris said, hey, I'm going to get that first title sometime. I can't put too much pressure on myself.
Well, he needs to put some pressure on Parker right here.
Yes!
He also went to another ball manufacturer, started throwing Storm this week, and he said, boy, what a difference that made. The ball finally started to react the way I wanted it to.
Well, he gets this ball all the way out to that friction area, and it recovered without rolling out. That's why he kicked that 10-pin.
Great match. Back to Parker. Holy tap on the 7 from the back of the pit. How about it?
Well, a Brooklyn and then a 7-pin love tap from the back.
Well, let's see. He goes Brooklyn, flush, trip 7 from the back of the pit for a 3-bagger.
Been a long time,
That's a good
guys.
thing.
El Paso, Texas, that last title. And what oil pattern was it on?
That cheetah pattern.
Cheetah pattern. Same as we have here today in Baltimore. Won't get help again. This time the 7 stands. Since that last win on TV, he's just 2-6, guys. Averaging 227. His foes are shooting almost 240 against him. There's the 7.
All right, well, Chris Loschetter can get up now and strike out 9th and 10th and take this match away from Parker Bohn III. They're both going to be in the 220s if they both strike out. But Chris Loschetter, 5 pins ahead in count.
Wow, 10 pin.
That's his good shot, too. He didn't expect a 10 pin on that one. And after watching Parker Bohn get the Brooklyn and then get the love tap in the 7 pin, and he ringing 10s, it just happens that way. He's not out of it. Make the spare, double in the 10th, force the action on Parker again.
Yeah, but Norm, come on, you got to admit, that's like just getting punched right in the stomach.
Again.
You know, I mean, he hears it after watching what Parker does, and it's like somebody just walks up and goes, hey, nice shot, bang!
Yeah, he got punched first sitting on the bench watching Parker, and then again.
43 events without a title to begin the career for Chris Loschetter. We first saw him on TV a couple years back, World Championships, where he lost to eventual Player of the Year Patrick Allen in the finals after beating Brian Voss.
Gotta have that one.
He's got that one indeed. And the Dick Weber Open lost to Mike Machuga. Last year at the Ace Championship, lost to Norm Duke after a win over Scroggins. And this year, a loss to Pete Weber in Buffalo. He has faced some legends on TV, to be sure.
Yeah, it really has. That's been a pretty good lineup there.
A gauntlet. Down 16.
Yes!
Wow, that was left of
Never know.
target
Come on.
all the way.
Come on, baby, now. Never know.
One of his patches fell off there. Got to get that Ace Hardware patch on. Big shot.
All right, now Chris Loschetter saying, well, you know what? Stranger things have happened. Maybe Parker can leave another blowout 7-10.
Well, it's a lot harder to mark when you need a mark to win, and it is just a mark. So, you know, Parker's thinking about this. And I know he's saying to himself, throw the strike. That's the easiest way to mark.
Get lucky now. Come on. Get lucky.
That's what Chris is hoping for here, guys. Little luck. Finishes with a 206.
Is he re-racking here, or is there something down lane?
I think so, maybe. He was pointing down lane there.
A prayer service going on?
Yep. 2 p.m. It's on time.
That's what he needs to win on this lane. He's been excellent so far.
Yes!
There it is! Chalk one up for the legend.
That's the perfect mark.
Yeah, but was there any doubt, really? I mean, that's
Yes.
Parker Bohn III. Was there really any doubt?
Yes.
And this doesn't just tickle the rack. I mean, that would have knocked 20 pins down.
It would have, but there was doubt. Always.
I disagree.
Well, guys, he's in his 99th career TV show. To include doubles, 104. The leader in that category, Walter Ray Williams Jr., has 156. So lots of experience as he takes care of one young gun. Another awaits in Sean Rash, and we've seen the swagger, the confidence of the youngster from Wichita State. He's afraid of nothing. You gotta like that, Norm.
No, I don't like it because, you know, he's a competitor of mine. I kind of wish he was afraid of everything.
He isn't he? It has been 39 events since Parker Bohn III has won a title. El Paso, Texas. Can he do it again on the cheetah pattern? That's the question. He'll take on Sean Rash, a championship on the line. Hey, bowling fans, let's go on the road with the Denny's PBA Tour. Columbia 300 Classic coming your way from Long Island next week. West Babylon, New York. They're the Pro-Am dates for you. Log on to PBA.com. Tickets to the Pro-Ams. Then on the backside of the Christmas break, Reno, Nevada, the great venue, National Bowling Stadium, part of so much history and some pretty good movies filmed there as well, right, Randy? Reno, Nevada, it's coming up, National Bowling Stadium. Log on to PBA.com for more information on tickets to the Pro-Am. When we return, we're going to have this great matchup coming up. And how do we get this far, Randy? Let's check it out in the Geico Championship recap.
Greatest movie ever made in Reno, Kingpin.
Right.
Semifinal number 1, Sean Rash defeated hometown favorite Danny Wiseman by the score 256 to 236. Rash striking out in the 10th and shutting the door on Wiseman. Rash advances to his second championship match. And in semifinal number 2, Parker Bohn III defeated Chris Loschetter by the score of 222 to 206. A late 10-pin by Loschetter cost him the match. Now the great legend bowls for his 31st title.
That's the Geico Championship recap. And that sets up a great title match. Will Sean Rash win his second for the side of the Young Guns? And will it be Parker Bohn III? For the Legends, we find out next.
The NFC's best, the North Division champion Bears, still have big questions about their quarterback. Can they ensure that the road to the Super Bowl will go through Chicago? The Bears have to slow down Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce in St. Louis. The Bears and Rams at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN's Monday Night Football.
All right, Mike Tirico, big game coming up tomorrow night, but here in Baltimore, our bracket to this point, Sean Rash knocked off one of the legends, 11-time titleist Danny Wiseman, and then a little reversal of fortune with Parker Bohn III over Chris Loschetter. Guys, keys to victory.
Yeah, the keys, Sean says, is he has to believe in himself, and I can't believe that that's going to be a problem. Parker Bohn says, I need to carry the extra shot. No more 7 pins, no more 7-10s late in the game.
Right now, I'd like to wish our wonderful director a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Scott Katz. His birthday was yesterday, Saturday. Just a tremendous talent we have with us week in and week out.
Way to go, Scotty. Happy birthday. And speaking of New Jersey, where Scott is from,
Hoboken.
Central Jersey, that's where Jackson is, as Parker Bohn III got home for a little while. Got the family back there. He rushed back to bowl himself, and Leslie and the kids came back down. About a 3-hour drive to Baltimore here to watch Parker in person. 5th all-time in titles. Walter Williams Jr., of course, our leader now. Earl Anthony, Mark Roth, Pete Weber ahead of Parker. That's it. This young gun just has 1 title, but what an event it was last year. Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Yeah, he's still undefeated on television
That's
so
right.
far in his career.
Well, you know.
Wonder if anybody else can say that.
There's all 10 down for the young Sean Rash. Leading us, Norm, to the Ace Hardware Championship. Well, we wanted it, right? Young Guns against the Legend. This is it for the final.
Yeah, it looks like a rout on paper, but you know what? Sean Rash is going to be a load in this match, even though he only has 85,000 to Parker's 2.6 gajillion.
Wow. It's been a while, guys. And Rick Lawrence had that huge gap between titles. The left-hander Rick Lawrence. This is the fireballing righty. Wow. That's pure, isn't it?
That's nasty. I mean, real nasty. Sick.
That is exactly the reason why some pros don't watch their opponents bowl, because that'll take your heart right out.
Yeah, it's disheartening. You sit back and you watch that go down the lane, and the first thing you think to yourself is, how can I beat that?
I'll make sure, guys, we mentioned the USBC raffle at bowl.com and PBA.com that Parker Bohn III is involved with. Contest going on. A raffle involving Earl Anthony Memorial Scholarship Fund. The bidding ends tonight, guys, at bowl.com and PBA.com, 9 o'clock Eastern time. What do you win? 2 people can earn a few days on the PBA Tour, a stop of their choice, plus lesson with Parker Bohn III, dinner with Parker. All the benefit the Earl Anthony Memorial Scholarship Fund.
Well, the shavings and stuff that you saw on the ground next to that workout tool, there it is. There's a workout tool. That's Parker taking a bit of the thumb hole out of this ball change that he made in the first 2 frames. Norm, I'm not so sure that this is the right move. He goes flat 7, and then 6-pin to start, but there's the ball. He was gouging on the thumb prior to start of this championship match.
That's better.
Boy, like that a lot. 10-pin,
I
Norm.
thought that was better.
Well, that was better.
Boy, is that ball going sideways down the lane and breaking loose.
It is, you know. He's flat 10 with the other ball. I don't think he could have moved back anymore on the approach, though. He's running out.
He flat 10 with that ball. He goes flat 10 and he goes high 6-pin, and then he goes stone 10-pin.
Well, that extra
Same ball.
shot that he wanted to carry, he hasn't carried it yet. Now he's just hoping not to get buried early.
A lot of back-end reaction with that bowling ball. In my opinion, I don't think that's a real good idea.
Well, you know, when you're flat 10, or excuse me, in Parker's case, flat 7-pin, then you have to try to get more power on the back end through the pins, much like this cat.
Oh, yeah, baby, what?
There's some help on the 4-pin, and he's pumped, huh?
Snap! You know, it's amazing. He's got twice as many revolutions as Parker does, and he's going straighter.
He really is, yes.
Why is that, Randy?
I think it's all about ball speed. He throws it harder. He's a little more up the back of it, which keeps the ball a little bit more on line, a little straighter out of his hand, but that ball speed is what's keeping it on line. Then when he does get it right, his hand's behind it. When it hits that dry, it doesn't boomerang off it. It just kind of arcs off of it.
Exactly.
How about it? Get out of my
That's what I'm talking
face!
about right there. Yeah.
Help on the 10-pin. The front 4 for Sean Rash here in the championship match. This kid is unbelievable.
And to get the 2-pin to back across at the 10-pin is impossible. I mean, this is just something you very rarely see.
That's the head pin, brother.
That was one of them.
Sean Rash has got it going on. The young gun hitting a target again. ESPN has a stellar college basketball game Sunday night. Glenn Davis leads LSU against Texas in their star freshman big man Kevin Durant. Sunday showdown presented by Alltel Wireless on ESPN. Tonight, 8 Eastern, also available in high definition on ESPN HD. Call your cable operator or satellite provider today. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Special thanks, James Robertson and Jeff Paul, AMF Midwest Region Vice President, AMF Country Club Lanes General Manager. Shout out to them and their great staff.
Better think strike, ball.
Yeah, think strike. Parker Bohn has to fire some bullets back. Otherwise, Sean Rash is just going to take dead aim at him.
He's in a whole lot of trouble right now.
Big strike for the legend.
If I was him, I would keep doing that for the rest of this show.
Talked about Parker and the lane comparison.
See that?
That right lane has been favorable for the lefty here. Steve Nagy, Sportsmanship Award winner. Generous to his fellow bowlers.
Oh, he needs it high.
Yeah, got it.
Flush. High, flush.
And at PBA.com for details concerning the all-new PBA Experience Bowling Leagues. The leagues, which are a joint venture between the PBA and USBC, will give league bowlers the chance to bowl on the same oil patterns the pros compete on each week. Leagues are forming in January, so head to PBA.com today and click on the PBA Experience link to find a league in your area. Wow! Pins flying everywhere.
Yeah, on this pattern, pins are going to fly everywhere. This is the average equalizer to that PBA League Experience, this cheetah pattern, because there's definitely some dry boards to the right. This is, as we said before, adult bumper bowling.
Norm, it's the Motel 6 frame. Sean has thrown the front 5 with a strike on the 6 to earn $600 from Motel 6, official lodging partner of the PBA. Also eligible for the $6,000. He throws the front 6 more than any other bowler. Here's a winner.
That's a car payment, 600 Motel 6, baby.
Yes, it is. This young gun knows about the sponsors very well, and he knows he's got 6 bills coming his way.
What kind of car is he driving with
heard
that kind of
that.
payment? Mercedes?
No kidding.
He's one of the young stars.
My gosh.
How about the title match start for Sean Rash? And you can hear the whooping and hollering from Wichita, Kansas at the big party going on at his house. He's got 20 people there watching right now. Whoa, that's through the nose for Parker.
That was not good.
And the collapse continues here, unfortunately for him.
Hard to second guess a player as great as Parker Bohn III has been over his career, but I think bad ball choice.
Well, it's just hard to say, you know. I don't know if he threw it as good as the last one. And I just went solid 10, flush. So, heck, I don't know if it was a bad maneuver or just bad shot.
But you said this pattern's like adult bumper bowling. How good do you have to throw it to
Well,
get
you
to
have
the
to
pocket?
hit the bumpers.
Okay. You bowled this week. I didn't.
Advantage balloons to 45 for the youngster. And one of the best balls we've seen for Parker in this championship match. You mentioned the sportsmanship award Randy brought up at the top of the broadcast with Parker. So generous. Wes Malott, one of the bowlers on tour, won a couple weeks back, made the final last week. We'll stay with Parker for a couple days this week en route to Long Island. So Parker just opens up his arms to fellow bowlers and the media. I mean, as nice and generous a guy as you can imagine.
I've never stayed there. No, you're right, Dave. Parker's one of the good guys.
How about another one? Oh, he avoids a split. That's the good news. The strike streak ends. He was thinking about a 300 game, of course. What a way to wrap up a title. Would be his second career championship. He's the second youngest bowler on tour. Patrick Girard from Quebec, Canada. 24 years old, this young gun. Stays clean, Norm.
Yeah, and, you know, not new to the world of bowling. He's traveled internationally, so his experience is far more than just junior leagues. But I will say he is the worst nickname I've ever heard.
You don't like Diaper? Sean Diaper Rash?
No, I think that's the worst ever.
I think he should be renamed Bash. Sean Bash Rash.
I
Something
think
better.
he should just change it to Road Rash because that's kind of what his opponents are feeling.
Well, his
like
mom,
right
who
now.
came all the way from Anchorage, Alaska, speaking of a long road travel, it's certainly been worth her trip.
How about Sean Cash?
A lot better. Great shot.
Sean Cash.
I like that a lot better. Anything but diaper.
A lot better. Great shot, Sean.
Great
shot.
Team USA experience in 02, 04, 05. Junior Team USA 98, 02, 03. He's been all over the world, has Sean Rash. He won an intercollegiate bowling championship title with Wichita State in 2003. Runner-up for Bowler of the Year in 03. I mean, he's really done well. And Parker just has lost his look entirely on that lane, right through the nose.
Yeah, and this is going to turn into a slaughter.
Not good.
Yeah, you're right, Randy. Now that, you know, we've seen him go high 3 times, I agree with you.
Wrong ball.
Had to be.
And of course, it doesn't help matters that his opponent started with the front 6. But here's a ball change right here.
How many does he have?
Many as he wants.
He's a pro. He's a pro. He's got a staff contract, so he's got an unlimited supply.
Well, the streak will stretch to 40 events, guys, without a win now for Parker.
I knew I should have jumped on that bandwagon.
Ball change, ball selection, and of course the strategy, your path to the pocket also key as the lanes break down.
Re-rack 32.
I think Parker got forced into doing something he doesn't want to do, and that's try to hook it too much. I think he got further right than he wanted, throwing the ball to that dry spot down the lane.
Confidence.
You know, when Parker was dominating this tour, he was firm and direct from the outside part of the lane.
Sean Rash tries to stay high. Here's another one.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Wow.
Yes!
He is just a couple pins away here from wrapping up another title. His father came from Anchorage last year to witness the win in Parkersburg. Mom Diana all the way from Anchorage this time around.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
And this Wichita shocker is shocking the PBA again. Wow.
A lot of fun to watch this kid. He's got his head on his shoulders. He's a good kid. Let's hope he stays that way because we've seen a lot of people go the other direction with early success.
Hope you're feeling better, Dan.
Well, yeah, I was one of them.
Well, at least you admitted it.
About face, you know.
I think Dad's feeling a lot better back home, Sean, after watching this. He said after winning last year in Parkersburg, he had autograph requests. He was recognized. He has won this title, and that recognition, Norm, will continue because this young gun is here to stay, isn't he?
Well, yeah, you know, he told me that he was getting used to the PR and that he likes it. You know, he enjoys being recognized in airports.
I did already. I'm missing the 7th.
But the important thing, I think, for Sean is he knows that he has to develop more skills. So this week he went and he spent a couple hours trying to work on his straight game.
For you, Josh and Stacy.
And trust me, this is straight for Sean Rash.
Great ball, baby. Good ball. Great bowling.
Dedicates the win to his friend Josh Kubiak, who tragically lost his mother in a car accident this week. What an unbelievable
I told you I should have jumped on that train
run
with that
for
ball.
Sean Rash.
Should have threw the total. Total's the best ball in the business.
He hasn't lost on TV yet, Normie.
You know, as they say in the high-tech world, I missed the email.
I didn't get the memo.
Forward it for a reason. Wise guy.
Yeah, there's no flat 7 with that ball. You were right, Randy, all along. As usual.
Thanks for making the trip.
You know, Parker's tried a whole lot of adjustments this week. He said he bowled 2 games with just his middle finger and his thumb. That was early. Then tries to back up a couple of feet. That works.
There's no denying his greatness.
There is
no
denying. The only thing he's denied is this title today because Sean Rash took it.
His mom saw it. His girlfriend Sarah, a bowler at Western Illinois, saw it. And Sean Rash raises another trophy. He's 2 for 2 on TV.
Tradition.
That's why he's such a great sportsman right there. Parker Bohn III watches Diana. Some more hardware to take home to Alaska. The Beltway Classic is brought to you by Discover Card. It's time a credit card put you in the driver's seat. By Atonic, the official footwear of the PBA. Atonic, first one there. By the United States Bowling Congress, ensuring the integrity and protecting the future of the sport of bowling. Bowl with us. And by Motel 6, official lodging partner of the PBA. For the lowest price of any national chain, go to motel6.com. Jock, another one up for the young gun. 279, 225 win. Sean Rash, second career title over the legend Parker Bohn III from here in Baltimore. An amazing finish for Rash. 4 up, 4 down. He's perfect on TV in his career. To recap the day and the championship, let's go back to Randy and Norm.
Thanks, Dave. And Norm, I'll tell you what a great performance once again by Sean Rash. He really proved that he belongs out here. And man, when it came down to it, he did what everybody did best, or what everybody did this week, and that's throw a lot of strikes.
He did. Precision and power, and a lot of it. He struck 11 out of 12 times in the final match here against Danny. Man, 250 to 230.
He really jumped all over that. Missed 10-pin by Danny Wiseman throwing that first hit there, and that sealed the deal in that first match. Semifinal number 2 saw Parker Bohn taking on Chris Loschetter, and Parker did a lot of this. He got a couple of really nice breaks. Loschetter leaves a 10-pin late, cost of the match. But in a championship match, like I said, it was all about Sean Rash striking, and striking a lot. To the tune of 279, Parker Bohn didn't really have a chance in this match.
No, this is 4-0 on television. Remarkable.
So Sean Rash, as Norm Duke said a moment ago, you're perfect on TV. How can you accomplish that kind of success?
You know, out here you just got to believe. You're bowling great players every week, and as long as you believe in yourself, you have no idea what's going to happen, and I was just lucky enough to take it home. So.
This was an emotional week for you. A couple of friends, you dedicated this tournament run for them. What would you like to say to them now?
I love you guys. That's about it.
my mom's here, and they lost them. So, yeah, I love them.
Okay, I know it's tough to go over those things. Back to your performance, the front six and the championship matches. We change gears here. What was going through your mind as you went for a perfect score there?
Just to get it off your hand clean, and hopefully the train doesn't come by and throw it in the gutter like it did Friday night. But it was a great match. You know, Parker had a good look, caught a couple good breaks, then he didn't strike there, and just took full advantage of the opportunity. So it was a lot of fun. And bowling a great player like him, you never know what's going to happen.
What is the best way to describe the young gun run here against the legends?
You know, they said a couple weeks ago the young guns weren't here, and the last 3 weeks it's been Wes and Tommy and I, and just to be in that category is a privilege. You know, just being my first year out here, I'm glad I'm part of that group. So,
congratulations.
Thank you.
Sean Rash wins his second career title. Very emotional day for him today here in Baltimore. Coming up next week, last tour stop before the Christmas break, Columbia 300 Classic, West Babylon, Long Island, New York. 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Look forward to seeing everyone there on the island. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Now for the entire crew, Randy Peterson, Norm Duke, it's Dave Ryan saying so long from Baltimore. Sean Rash has done it again. He's perfect on TV. International Speed Pool Championship next. Rash a champion again.